Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear listeners and viewers, we are now delighted to welcome on the phone Noxolo Nxele. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Noxolo is the academic officer for the Palestine Solidarity Committee at Wits. Noxolo, good morning. Welcome to Salam Media.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us. Tell me, what does that entail, being the academic officer for the PSC at Wits?
So, all clubs and societies at WITS have to have an academic officer.
Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't really mean much in the context of the PSC. I just participate in organizing like every other executive that's part of the WITS PSC.
Okay, great. And you've just had Israeli Apartheid Week recently at Wits with the PSC. Tell us a little bit about how that went. And also, Notkolo, why are you involved in the PSC? What's your motivation for being in the PSC?
So, I'll start with that latter question. I joined the PSC as a general member like late 2022 and only became an executive this year.
Mm-hmm.
And because I just felt a moral obligation to organize on behalf of Palestinians and do my part with what I have and where I am. And another major factor that contributed towards my joining was the fact that I believe the Palestinian struggle is very much connected to the Black South African struggle for
Mm-hmm.
land and autonomy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the histories are so similar, are they not? In fact, when I finally visited Palestine in Kolo, I only then realized how true Archbishop Tutu's words were, that the degree of apartheid and the degree of land theft in Palestine is in many ways even worse than it was in South Africa. So I totally agree with you that they are very much interconnected struggles, neo-colonial land grabs, etc. And tell us, Notkolo, how did Israeli Apartheid Week go?
So it was a successful one, if I do say so myself. Uh, we only had events for a week because we were obliged to do so by the university. So this year, Israeli Apartheid Week was actually Israeli Apartheid Month.
Mm-hmm.
So BDS decided that because obviously of recent events and the fact that it was the 20-year anniversary of IAW, that we should have it for a month long. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there was just a lot more to do and a lot more to say. But we, as Wits PSC, did only have it for a week.
Mm-hmm.
It was both online and in person. We did
Yes.
have a couple of hiccups in the sense of like counter demonstrations and attempts to derail our campaigns and our events. So we overcame those and were
Mm-hmm.
able to spread the word about the fact that Israel is an apartheid state and the situation and plight of Palestinians right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it has culminated in a rally and a march at Wits University where we demanded that the university adhere to BDS as a policy and divest from Israeli universities and Israeli businesses.
Okay, that's fantastic. I was there at the march, by the way. It was a well turned out march. I was pleased to see. I am a previous staffer at WITS myself, so I used to run the human rights program there about 12 years ago. And I was very pleased to see that there was a good turnout. I was also relieved that the small incident of violence did not escalate, and that despite the South African Jewish Board of Deputies bringing out a speaker from Israel at the same week, that the PSC handled matters very diplomatically, but also very strongly, standing their ethical and moral ground. So kudos to you all.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being with us, Noxolo. I know it's difficult to do morning shows, so we really appreciate your time and energy. And just so that our viewers and listeners know, you're our neighbor of note for today. That's Noxolo Nxele, the academic officer for the Wits Palestine Solidarity Committee. And it's absolutely wonderful to see that so many um, South Africans of various backgrounds, across ethnicity, across faith
Yeah.
lines, across class and gender lines, are actually coming together in this cause of Palestinian solidarity. We thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And with that, we cross over to our next ad break. And after that, we'll be bringing you a very special insert on women in Palestine.